Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Today, I am going to teach you the chapter 1 again. Continue from the previous video. In chapter 1, you learn from point 1 to point 6. Okay, so today I will start from point 7 to the end of the lesson of chapter 1, Introduction to Language Teaching. Okay, so look at number 7. What are the different levels? So in a class there are different level of student learning in the same class. The teachers of English will make three basic level distinction. The three level are beginner level, intermediate level, and advanced level. It will be difficult for students to teach three levels in the same class. Some class the level of students are mixed together. Okay, look at the term of each level. Beginner refer to the student, a new learner. They do not know anything in English. So success is easy to teach them. Okay, success is easy to see at this level. Easy for the teacher to arrange, and teaching can be incredible, stimulating, and get fun. So teaching student and at a beginner level is there's a lot of great fun and easy. Intermediate level. So intermediate level is higher than in beginner. So after the student finish the beginner level, they move up to intermediate level. So in this level, students are able to speak, to write, listen, read. In English is better. Success is not easy to perceive. It seems they don't improve. It seems they don't improve that much that fast anymore. So in this level, maybe it's very difficult for teachers to teach them because they have to move up to higher levels, more difficult than the beginner. So the speed of moving up is a bit slower than the beginner level. Okay, this is called plateau because they have to move up to higher, so it's a bit difficult. And teacher need to give a lot of challenge, need to give more challenge and get them analyze a language more thoroughly. So in this level, students have to work harder as well. Okay, teacher can help them to set clear goals for themselves. So in intermediate level, students are bigger, older, so they can think about their goal for themselves. So teacher can help them to set a clear goal. What will they do? What they are going to be. Advanced level. Look at the advanced level. Competent and communicate fluently with native speaker. There is no a lot of English. So in the advanced level, students are fluent in English. So they can make communication with a foreigner, compete in English fluently with native speaker because they have gained a lot of knowledge in English. At the advanced level, they need to be able to show student. We need to be able to show student what still has to be done. So the highest advanced level is the highest level. So we need to provide a good, clear evidence of progress. We need to provide gonna progress, we do not concentrate so much on grammar accurately, but on style and perception of appropriacy, connotation, and inference, helping them to use the language. So in this level is higher level, so we do not focus much on grammar again, because in this level they have to use much more language. They have to create a lot of writing, speaking, example like that. So we need to use them to use the language. We need to help them to use the language properly by writing, speaking, example like that. We have to encourage them to take more and more responsibility for their own learning. So in higher level, they have more responsible for their own learning. Okay, number 8. Look at point number 8. How should we teach the different level? This is a bit difficult task for the teachers to teach 3 different levels in the same class. Many activities can clearly be used at more than one level. Some are obviously more appropriate for beginner. So difficult, right? Some activity, when we say the activity for the mid-level of student, the activity sometimes doesn't meet the student need. Sometimes it fit with the beginner level, but it will upset the intermediate or advanced level. If we set the activity for to meet the intermediate, so the beginner cannot catch up. So it's very difficult. Okay, some of this more appropriate for beginners, such as pronunciation practice, simple interaction, dialogue. Some are more appropriate for advanced students, such as discursive essay writing. So the activity for beginner and the activity for advanced is completely different, right? For beginner, we just stick them to practice the pronunciation skill and simple interaction dialogue. But for advanced level, we have to use the language perfectly by using writing an essay, a paragraph, example like that. For more debating. What obvious difference in the way we teach different level is language. Beginner, so a fairly simple language. So teaching beginner, we have to use simple language, so the beginner can understand the language easily. The level of language also affects the teacher behaviors. So difficult, very difficult for teacher to teach the mid level of the student. Beginner rough tone is accurate voice tone and gestures. So at the beginner level, as so you already hear, rough tone means a simple language. So we have to use, being a teacher, have to use the simple language, simple sentence, in order to explain or speak with your beginner student. The activity we offer students often depend on their language level. So we have to think the level of the student. What level are they in, and what language should we use and what activity should be set for them to practice the language. For beginner level, the activity should not be language should not be abstract discussion. So they can sing the abstract idea. They can imagine the idea like the intermediate or advanced learner. Simple role play with ordinary information question. So when we ask them to role play, we just use the simple activity, simple information, or the ordinary information question for them to practice the role play. Okay, so what time? Example, just like what time does the class start? Is what are the school rules? Just example like that. For advanced students, have to be richer and more subtle. So in advanced level, we have to set the activity of the language that we use must be richer. We can use set the activity that different from the beginner level. What is the best way to persuade someone of your opinion in an argument? Example. This is the abstract idea, so the student can at in advanced level they can use their idea. They can share the idea. They can use their imagination or their experience about the topic, so they can describe more abstract idea. How can we structure writing to hold the reader attention? Example like that. This is for advanced level. The teacher react both overtly and subconsciously to different level. Okay, the material they use the different level. The materials are different. The activity to get a student to engage in and reflect the unique need to those students. This is what the students should do in order to teach the different level of student. To teach the the right level of student, have to think the material that fit the suitable for the level of the student, the activity that can get the student engaged, or that can encourage the student to learn more, and especially reflect the reflection of your student. Okay, look at learner-based teaching or center teaching. What is learner-based teaching or center teaching? Learner-center teaching. All class learner-based teaching or learner-centered teaching refer to the class activity that can be done using information the learner themselves bring to the class. So learner-based teaching, we focus on the learner themselves. We focus on the learner learning, not the teacher teaching. So everything is produced by the learner, not the teacher. Language input can be based on the experience, knowledge, and expertise of individual student. So in learner-based teaching, we can allow our student to work more than the teachers. We can encourage them to use their experience, knowledge, knowledge or expert on the individual student develop their skill, to develop their language, to improve their learning. Using a learner-based teaching approach, the learner themselves are responsible for the information input. Right? So students produce the language themselves, share the idea, use their experience to produce the language input. They can teach themselves and each other. So learner-based teaching, they can help each other in the class. They can teach themselves, they can teach their friend in the class. Okay, what are the role of the teacher in learner-based teaching? The teacher can be a participant. A person who take part in the teacher that take part in the activity, contributing ideas, opinions, or relating personal experience. So in the learner-based teaching, the teacher can be a participant. Just help the student to contribute idea or opinion. Teacher can be a consultant, a pencil helper, and a resource, as a walking dictionary or a grammar book. So if the student do not understand at any point, the teacher can help the student, or if the student do not know how to spell or to raise some words, so teacher can help them. As a walking dictionary or grammar book, the teacher can be an organizer, tell the student what they should do, so they organize the activity for the student to do. Okay, controller, teacher can be a controller or monitor, completely in charge of the class. So the teacher can observe and monitor the class while the student doing the activity. The teacher can be an evaluator, see how well the student performs. So we can evaluate how well the student practice perform the task or the activity. The teacher can be a prompter, the one who encourages students to participate and help with the answer. So the teacher can be the prompter, help students participate with the student, share the idea with the student. In learner-based teaching and learning are taking in both sides. But in this, we focus much more on learning than the teacher teaching. What are the course book? Course book is also important for a student because the course book is the source book that we use for the class, that we use in the class, and it is also important for the student to use as a source to read or to write at home. For a solve problem with the following course book is that the student can or cannot read ahead at 2 or what is coming next. But sometimes we cannot we cannot teach all the parts in a course book. Sometimes we have to ask students to do some research by outside of the course book, the related information beside the course book. So course book is just the source, the main source for in a teaching course. The learner-based teaching is unpredictable and likely to foster heightened sense of curiosity. So in the course book, the lesson is already set by the author. So sometimes the student do not interested in some activity or some topic of the lesson in the course book, example like that. So sometimes the course book is not interest the student, do not interest the student. The course book can be coexist comfortable with learner-based teaching. So in learner-based teaching, we use the course book as the source. So some course books also have activity inside. So you can use the activity in the course book to teach the student to let the student to practice. Okay, learner use mainly at home for self-study. So course book, student can use course book to study by themselves at home. In class time, we concentrate on activating the language from various sources such as TV or newspaper and the course book. So in the class, we do not use only course book. Course book is the main course, is the main source. So course book is the main source in the class. But besides course book, we can also use other source like TV, like newspaper, reading text. Now we can have for YouTube, right? Internet, example like that. Okay, what are the advantages of using learner-based teaching? So using learner-based teaching, there are a lot of advantages. Okay, the first advantage is the potential of the learner. So in a learner-based teaching, the student can use their own idea, opinion, experience, or area of expertise in a class. So they have chance to produce the language. They have chance to share the idea. They have a lot of chance to show their experience. So they can learn more. They can develop more than teacher-based teaching. Constant analysis. So in learner-based teaching, the student can analyze the activity and they can analyze the topic that the teacher set for them to practice. Okay, the activity for particular group are chosen to meet the current need of its member. So in the learner-based teaching, the student can analyze what the teachers said for them, the activity that the teacher said for them. They can use their imagination, they can use their abstract idea to analyze the topic, the language. Analyze is constantly developing focus. Number 3, topicality. So topicality is so important for the learner-based teaching. Learner-based teaching, so the learner themselves enjoy the topic they are learning, so they can choose a topic that is, or sometimes we can use select the topic that meet the student need, especially the interesting topic. Or even example like now it is the COVID-19 period, so we can choose the topic that is about COVID-19 and we can ask them to analyze the topic. We can ask the student to share the idea about the topic. So this will interest the student learning. Learner-based teaching allows us to use local or international issues, ideas which are current interested interest to particular group, means current interest. Like now the interesting topic is COVID-19. Previous learning experience. So the student can have time to share the idea about their previous learning experience. Although the teachers said the same activity, but when they work with different group, when they work with different student or different people, so they have different ideas. They can use their previous experience to work with other people, so they will have more idea. Learner-based approach offer much more open-ended experience. Learner as author. So in learner-based teaching, we use the student to produce their language by themselves, so that we can ask them to produce the language by themselves. That we call learner as an author. Practice is double because learners are involved in preparing as well using the practice material. Pace. So learner-based teaching, they still know the pace of the activity or the lesson. What they do first, what they do next. Okay. Element of surprise. Okay, learner-based teaching is also have advantage of element of surprise. Element of surprise means that when the teachers set the activity for them to do, so they do not know what the activity first, and before they do not know that. when they practice the activity, so they can find the element and the material that they can use in the material. They can use in that activity, so they can find the material immediately. They do not prepare before, so this is called element of surprise. They can think. They can think of a material at the time of doing the activity. As the material are not available in advance, right? Are not available in advance, there is a strong element of surprise, so the student can find the material by themselves. Peer teaching and correction. So learner-based teaching is very important because the student can teach themselves and they can teach their classmates and correct their classmates as well, so they can develop more ability in the language learning. Learner-based teaching encourages students to work together and learn from each other. They can teach and correct each other. Group solidarity. So learner-based teaching allows the students to work in group. They work closely, strongly. They work together in group, so they can share the idea together. A learner working with one another, not in a competition with another. So when they work in group, they do not compete. They just share the idea to each other. What are the potential problems? Learner resistance. Besides advantage, also there are disadvantages of learner-based teaching. Some learners feel that they are learning only when talking or listening to the teacher and do not see benefit of working with others. Some students always feel like that if they do not listen or if the teacher do not speak a lot in the class, they will think that they learn nothing. So some students just want to listen from the teacher only. They don't want to talk or uh, something else. Some learner may have a low opinion of themselves, so this is also the problem. Some students do not cannot share the idea because they do not have idea about the topic. Some learner may simply not be interested in one another. So when we ask them to work in group, they don't want to work. Or they just want to chat. They do not interested in working in group. They do not want to work with their friends. Something like that. External restraint. The teacher cannot follow the external syllabus. External syllabus and then the outside. External and outside. Demand on the teachers. In many activities, the stakes are interdependent. The teacher must have a very clear idea of where the activity is leading and how it is organized. So in learner-based teaching, the teacher have to introduce the idea clearly and how to organize the group, how to organize the idea, the activity in a class, so your student will not understand the activity. Like the teacher have the role of what is the role of the teacher in the learner-based teaching, something like that. The teacher have to produce the activity and the teacher need to monitor the class, so on and so forth. Teacher must give a very accurate practice interaction. Okay, what is the role of learner-based teaching in EFL syllabus? What are the role of learner? You have learned the role of teacher. Okay, now what are the role of learner? Learner-based teaching can be any of the following: the one and the only method used in the classroom. The activity, skill, grammar, vocabulary, function, and so on. And at the same time, we will need to be met later with other activities. Sorry, please continue. A complete a complement to coursebook providing topicality, introducing special interest to topic, practice language not covered by the coursebook. This is the role of the learner. You have to complete complement to the coursebook, provides the topicality, introducing special interest to a topic, practice the language, something like that. And in an emergency kit to deal with unpredicted situations such as malfunctioning classroom hardware and poor attendance. Okay, realia, visual aid, and other classroom prop. So, in order to teach, the student will need the material, we need the real material, we need the audio, example like that. All of these are the material that we need to use to teach the student in the class. Learner-based teaching material are by definition to those produced by students in class. Sometimes we can ask the student to prepare the material by themselves. So we can set the activity for them and ask them to find the data. Materially the data, they can choose the data that is suitable for their activity, like paper and pens, blackboard, whiteboard, wall, floor, or any other available space. So all of these are the material that we use in a classroom. However, activity may benefit from the use of more sophisticated equipment such as photocopier. So beside the classroom prop, we can use other material like photocopier. We can copy the document. Audio, we can use the audio, or now we can use the slide to show the lesson of the video recorder, and OHP, overhead projector, especially in listening activity. We can use all of this material. Listening, we can use the audio. Watching video, we can use video recorder. We can use slide. Or listening, we can use here HOP, overhead projector. Okay, this is the end of Unit 1. Thank you for paying attention, and I hope that you will enjoy the lesson. This is the end of the lesson, and next video will teach you Chapter 2, that is about techniques in language learning. Thank you, bye bye, all beloved students.